Oh, here's Fox and Friends talking about school indoctrination. I mean, this is what I guess this is what the campaign is going to be. Essentially, the Biden, what is it? The Biden crime family, one of the least successful crime families in the history of crime families. And of course, child indoctrination. Here is Fox and Friends yesterday Wednesday, responding to New Jersey's policy of schools not outing their kids to their parents.
Good stuff.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good to see you.
All right, we're talking about New Jersey, the state you used to live in. You left for one of these reasons, right? So the governor of New Jersey, as you know, Governor Murphy, he has said that when kids are questioning their gender identity, that the school doesn't have to tell the parents. Well, there are a lot of districts that are upset about this. You saw the several schools and all these parents have come together. They're upset, including Joseph La Barbara, who we interviewed earlier.
Just to be clear here. Just think about this for a moment. The school does not have to spy on the children and turn them into their parents. This is not like the kids aren't doing anything wrong here. There's no disciplinary problems. They've not been caught, smoking jewels or pot or, cigarettes in the bathroom. They're not showing up to work to school drunk. The school is just not forced to report, hey, your kid is dressing in a way that is not aligned with how we think someone of their gender should dress. That's what they're saying. And the Fox and Friends people are saying that schools should be forced to report on kids who are wearing clothes or maybe putting on makeup in a way that they think is not aligned, or not wearing makeup, or not wearing, or not wearing the type of clothes, like, where's your skirt, sweetheart? That the school's got to contact the parents on this. Squeal on the kids. Go ahead.
Several schools and all these parents have come together. They're upset, including Joseph La Barbara, who we interviewed earlier. He is Sussex County. He's the New Jersey GOP chairman. And they have put together this campaign. They're putting together these billboards. And here is one of them. And it's the governor taking the kid away from his parents. And he's saying, I'm going to control this kid, giving him the hormone therapy. And there's a pink dress and a lot of money in the background.
Yeah, obviously that refers to notification of parents as far as gender identity at school.
We know what's best for your kids.
But also New Jersey passed a law.
This is so obscene. It's unbelievable. The school is not giving any treatment to the kids. They're just not mandated to inform the parents that the kids are not dressing or behaving aligned with the gender that the school thinks that they should be. This is how sort of depraved these people are, that they have to pretend that this is going on in the school to make this even remotely palatable to normal human beings.
And the graphic itself is shocking. Like the money coming out of these faceless ghouls injecting hormones into kids, it's creepy.
It's so creepy. And Andrew from Vermont says, Sam, I have a trans son in high school. He has several friends who have to hide who they are for fear they'll be kicked out by their parents and made homeless. These anti-trans charlatans are monsters. And here's the thing, even if that's not the case, and that is very often the case, why would you put the school in the position of making these determinations and mandate that they tell the parents? only if you see a kid's desire to identify without, puberty blockers, because presumably, again, they need their parents' permission to get this. Without puberty blockers, without any type of gender affirming care, they're just, I'm going to school, I'm dressing this way, and I'm identifying this way. Like, what are the kids doing that puts them in a category where the school must inform their parents, are mandated to inform their parents? These anti-trans people are setting it up as if the school is actually doing something, but the school is doing nothing. They want to put a mandate on the school. In the same way, if a kid was being beaten, in the same way, if the kid had a drug or alcohol abuse problem, in the same way, if the kid didn't show up to school, they are pathologizing. And remember, they claim they're not. They're pathologizing just the desire for these children to identify in some way. This is no longer about, we don't think that the treatment is right or wrong or this and that. This is they want it a pathology akin to being suicidal. Go ahead.
Obviously, that refers to notification of parents as far as gender identity at school.
Not obviously at all.
But also, New Jersey passed a law years ago that just went into effect, I think it was last year into this year, that really radical sex ed was being pushed all the way down to first grade. So if you're in a first grade classroom in a government school in New Jersey, you are being taught about gender roles, gender transitions, pronouns, all the way down to first grade, which is exactly what they want. They want it to be the language in which the kids speak and then the actions that they take. And then if they want to transition socially or physically later, then you don't tell the parents. It's a pipeline. And so good on the New Jersey Republican Party for highlighting that. And it's a really tough choice for a lot of families there who want to believe in the public school system. But how are you going to send your kids into that?
You mentioned the party. Here's Joseph Labrera. He talked about what has to stop.
We don't believe that any state or bureaucracy has the right to take a child from parents and not let parents have the ability to sway or influence or raise their own child. And the overreach by the state of New Jersey in this aspect, I think, is against the Constitution. That's why we're using artistry to make the point, to drive it home to people who may not be aware because they're so busy going to work and raising their families, they don't understand what's being done to them. So we're emphasizing this and getting the message out to let people know that this is an extreme case, what the governor did, and that the future of this can turn ugly in many ways.
It's the government saying, we know what's best for your children, and we're going to keep you out of it, parents.
Yeah, it's cultural Marxism. It's separating parents from kids. And if you can get a kid to believe something like there aren't two genders, and then you can get a parent to say the same thing, even though they don't really believe that, you control them. You control them. Right. You control their thoughts. You control their actions. That's what they want.
Same thing with climate change.
Absolutely right.
For me, it's more about
same thing with climate change. Same thing with climate change. Same thing with COVID. Same thing with science. Same thing with this whole thing about the Civil War being a function of slavery.
Right.
Oh, the same thing about like racism still exists. All of this stuff. Once you get them believing these things, you control them. It is, that image and the way they're framing that is a perfect example of how they know they come off as lunatics to normal human beings. Because they have to completely fabricate what this is about. To make it even so that they're not ashamed and they don't feel like idiots themselves, mentioning it in public. That's the problem there for them. Amazing. These people are insane.